Hey guys, it's Brent here. I am talking today about another way to improve battle power. So, I'm going to talk about gear. This is one of the most important ways to improve BP, but also one of the pretty confusing ones. First and quickest is everything epic and below doesn't really matter, to be honest. I do hold on to a couple of them because basically I can use them to hold stats, which, I'll explain in a minute, but for the most part, I just sell all of those. I buy a lot of stuff in the market that I don't even need really, but all right. So that clears that up, right? Gets rid of some of the purple gear. But for now, let's talk about the different ways to boost your gear and battle power. The first one is enhancement. So you get these green enhancement mixtures. 3 of them make a rank B, 3 make an A, 3 make an S, right? So it gets more and more difficult. I have enough to fuse up to 1 rank double S. And you don't actually have to go fuse it all yourself, right? I have 347 greens. So I could make 115 rank C and then keep going up. But if I just click the gear that I want to enhance, I'll do boots and hit enhance. It'll automatically fuse all of it to the top one. Enhancement gives you a little boost in, for boots, attack and HP, for capturing gear, attack and HP. So different stats, right? Those are nominal boosts, so it's not a huge buff, but it does add up for sure. Every level gives me about 600 total BP, right? Which isn't a lot, but when they're level 100, it matters. The next thing is boosting. Unfortunately, I can't exactly show you this, but this is why you need to save up those special alloys. So you use normal alloys too, but honestly you get so many that it doesn't, the special alloys are the gating factor. So the way that you do this is you overclock using normal alloys, and then you overclock using normal and special, and you get extra stars. So it starts out as, I think, purple stars, been a while, and then you get golden stars after you hit 5 of those. And when you get golden stars, you get 1% attack boost. And I think that's, okay, so it's 1% damage boost for a couple of them. For one of them. So that 1% is really big, and then you also get some nominal upgrades. That also opens up new modification levels. So modification drawings you get through agency, and actually most of this you get through agency assessment. So you can modify. The way that works is it'll have a bar and you need to upgrade it, say 7 times, and each time takes 7 modification tickets, right? Modification drawings. Sometimes you'll get a crit and level it up twice for the price of 1, but for the most part, you assume 1 for however many tickets. That is tough at first, but when you hit a cap and you need to overclock to get any further, you end up having so many modification tickets that it doesn't matter. I have about 2,000, and every time I get enough special alloys, I can instantly level up to the next thing. For both enhancement and modification, you can see, let's see where I can find it. You can click on this enhance tab and show when you have 7 pieces of gear at level 110, you get these boosts. Level 120, you'll get these. And modification, the same thing. Level 22, level 25, and so on. So, just a quick note, the way to get special alloys is through the Alliance shop. Every Monday, you can pick one up. You can also get them with the weekly offer, 800 hero coins for one. That's 3 pulls. It's up to you if that's worth it, but and then mostly everything else you get through the co-op mode agency assessment right here. Okay, so those are the different ways to power up gear. The way that you get gear is through doing a permit of that level. So you can get level 70 gear by doing a level 70 permit. Floor 10 and up have a chance to give these legendary gears, and that's really what you need to be aiming for. Yeah, sets of legendary, ultra, and radiant. I still have a bunch of level 5 gear because they have set effects. You can see those if you come to fuse and click set effects. And you can, when you fuse things, you'll either get a gear with no set, like this gun, or a number in the bottom right corner, like this 6 on these boots. So you can see the set effects here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. And over here it tells you the effects. The higher the number, the better the effects. So ideally you want to be trying to get a set of all 9s, but 9 can only be level 70 gear. A set of all 5s would be level 60 gear. So I'm keeping those 5s on for the set bonuses, even though level 70 gear is better stat-wise. When you fuse, you can spend 4 legendary gears to get 1 ultra gear. If I put 4 helmets in, 4 headgears, and I fuse them, I'm guaranteed to get an ultra headgear. If I mix it, I could get any of the things that I use in that fusion, right? I prefer personally waiting until I can guarantee what I get. That is just the way that I like to do it. So I fused up some ultras. Now when I look at radiance, I have 4 ultra headgears, so I can fuse 4 of those into 1 radiant headgear, right? And now that one came without a set, which is pretty disappointing, because it's just not great. But when I get another radiant headgear, I'm holding on to this 8. I'm not ready to equip it, but I don't want to fuse it away. So when I get another one, you can fuse 2 radiants into another radiant, right? So this could give me either a headgear or protection gear. So that's how fusing works. You want to fuse up to radiance, and you can fuse, you could get no set, but if you fuse 2 radiants, you're guaranteed to get a set, I believe. You don't know what set, you don't know if it'll be higher. So fusing these 2 7s won't necessarily give me an 8, but it will give me a 7, 8, or 9. Now, as far as equipping your gear goes, you have different stats on them. So the stat colors range from, I believe, purple to orange to yellow or golden to pink. And the, pink is the highest that it can go, then yellow, orange, and purple. So if you fuse gears, even for example, this radiant headgear I just got, I have, it's not great, but it's got a yellow damage increase on it, right? You can't stat transfer to a lower level gear, so I can't put that on my level 60 headgear, but I can equip this level 71 temporarily and stat transfer the damage increase stat onto that headgear. So you can stat transfer to make sure you're getting the best stats on your gears, and it doesn't like expend the old gear, So even if you fuse something that you don't necessarily like, hopefully it has a good stat on it. So when you're stat transferring, you can't transfer from headgear to gloves, right? It has to be the same gear. So a belt to a belt, for example. So I'll put this belt on for now, just kind of as a mule for some of these stats. And I'll put the tenacity on there. Even though it's not my favorite, it is a pink stat, so I'll put it on. Now I'm going to go back to my level 60 belt, but that freed up these 2 radiants to fuse and see what I get. Another level 7. So this is completely random. Honestly, you know, pretty frustrating. It takes a long time, but eventually you'll have a solid gear layout. The stats that you want to be looking for are attack, crit damage, penetration, and damage increase. Anything offensive, right? So this crit res rate, not particularly great. Defensive stats just don't do that much. HP and defense also aren't great, but I personally prefer HP over defense. That said, damage reduction is another defensive one. My favorite defensive one is HP, but if you have a pink defense, it'll do more for you than a golden HP, right? So just whichever stats you get that are the best. So that's kind of a guide on how gear works, and it does add massive boosts. So you can see down here the total BP added to each character for my just for my gear is 35,393. If I take one piece off, it will change drastically. So that costs me 5,000 BP per character, right? So the gear does make a difference. That's why you need to make sure that you're farming agency assessment as much as you can be, at least going through your own permit. So I think that's everything that I have to say. Let me know if you have any questions with gear, enhancement, boosting, fusing, or stats or anything like that. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you next time.